Recognize resilience, repair, an Islamic blueprint for healing from pain and trauma. The Qur'an and the Hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad beautifully acknowledge, validate, and recognize the reality of human pain. They address people's torment, their hidden traumas, their silent anxieties, their fears, and even their depression. Our faith does not dismiss these human experiences as illusions. Rather, Allah Himself reminds us again and again throughout His book, do not fear, do not fear, do not fear. This is not a mere repetition for emphasis. It is a divine instruction, a soothing balm to the believer's heart. But this raises a profound question. How does one stop fearing? How can a heart burdened with grief or anxiety actually feel at ease? The first step is to recognize yourself, to understand what's happening within you. In psychology, this concept is known today as awareness or mindfulness. But centuries before modern science, our Sunnah had already laid this framework. In fact, within Islam, there's a concept I like to call the 3 R's: recognize, resilience, repair. This is not only a psychological model, but also a spiritual one. It is embedded deeply in the Qur'an and the life of the Prophet and all of the prophets before him. It forms the very core of our Sunnah and our Deen. Let us reflect. How do you grow strong after calamities? How do you, as a believer, continue to stand upright after adversities that shake your soul? How do you move forward after traumas, no matter how great or how small, without losing your identity, your faith, or your hope? It begins with the first step, recognize. Then you build resilience. Finally, you repair. This is not just abstract spirituality. It begins physically inside your brain. Did you know that? Subhanallah. Islam does not separate your inner life from your outer biology. When you experience loss, pain, or fear, your brain literally creates pathways, responses, and habits. But just as those pathways were created, Allah has given you the power to reshape them. Modern science calls this neuroplasticity. Islam called it tazkiyah, the purification and transformation of the self. It is the same truth explained in different languages. The stories of the prophets, the du'as of the righteous, the commands of Allah in the Qur'an, all of them are there to teach you that while you are not a prophet, you can learn from them. And the first lesson is this: none of us will ever be tested to the degree that the prophets were tested. This is Allah's mercy upon us. So don't panic, don't despair. You will never face a test like that of Noah, or Ibrahim, Abraham, or Musa, Moses, or Isa, Jesus, or our beloved Muhammad. But you will get a portion of tests, a measure that is suitable for you, that Allah knows you can handle. And so, what is the first thing we must do? We must recognize, truly recognize, that whatever has happened to us, whatever environment we grew up in, whatever family pain we carry, whatever grief we have endured, it does not have to define us. You are not your trauma. You are not your grief. You are not your pain. Unless, and this is crucial, you choose to define yourself by it. If you have lost a loved one, you can tell yourself, I am destined to be sad for the rest of my life. But who said that? Allah didn't. The Qur'an didn't. The Prophet didn't. You said it to yourself. If you have been through a traumatic experience, you can sit and blame that trauma forever, letting it become your identity. Or, and here is where faith transforms everything, you can believe that by the will of Allah, you can change your mindset, your brain, and your life. You are not powerless. You are not broken beyond repair. Allah has given you the ability to change, and He has placed this truth everywhere in our Deen, in your salah, in your du'as, in your connection to the hereafter, in the stories of the prophets. Every aspect of the Qur'an calls you to this power. Recognize, you can literally change the neurons and pathways in your brain. How? By training them slowly, by taking one small step at a time. Start with the basics, recognize your triggers. Ask yourself, what's triggering me? What situations or words or places awaken my pain? List them if you have to. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is self-awareness, the first R. Then turn to the Qur'an. What does Allah teach me about myself? He tells you, You are important. You have a purpose. The very fact that you are breathing at this moment means that Allah still has a reason for you to be alive. You are still needed in this world. Find your blessings. Reflect on the gifts Allah has given you. What skills do you have? Maybe it's as small as the ability to speak a kind word to someone. Maybe it's as small as writing a short pamphlet or a message of hope. Never underestimate your efforts. Allah does not look at the outcome. He looks at your intention in your effort. A single raindrop repeated again and again can carve through rock. Your small actions repeated sincerely can carve a new path in your life. Look at the prophets. Look at their tests. Noah lost his son forever. We're not talking about a son who drifted away from religion, but might come back. We're talking about a son who rejected faith, drowned before his father's eyes, and will never be seen in paradise. Imagine the pain. Yet Nuh did not destroy himself with guilt. Allah tells you to be empathetic with yourself. Do your best, then leave the rest to Him. If you tried as a parent and you raised your child with care and things still went wrong, do not crush yourself with blame. Look after your other children. Keep moving forward. Don't give up. Don't let guilt debilitate you. Look at Prophet Lot. His own wife turned against him and joined the enemies. Yet he continued his mission. Yes, he grieved. Yes, he felt pain. Islam does not forbid grief. Islam does not say don't feel pain. Islam says feel it, but don't drown in it. Balance it with action, hope, and dua. Why deny yourself the possibility of happiness on the other side? Why deny yourself productivity in other areas? Grief is not a prison. Recognize your triggers. Remember Abraham alayhi salam. His own father told him, "Get out of my house. If you stay, I will stone you to death." He was disowned. He was thrown out. Yet Ibrahim did not let his father's rejection define him. He didn't sit there saying, "Because my father is like this, I am doomed to be like this." Instead, he took control of his own life. He responded with gentleness, "My dear father, my dear father, my dear father." His words proved his character. Even when exiled, he said, "I will ask Allah to pardon you, Dad. I will go to my Lord. He will guide me. I have never been hopeless in my dua to my Lord." He recognized that Allah would never abandon him. So do not define yourself by your past traumas. You can change them by Allah's permission. Look at Assaad, the wife of Pharaoh. She was tortured under the worst tyrant, yet she did not sit there saying, "That's it. The whole kingdom is against me." She smiled under torture and said, "Oh my Lord, build for me a house with you in paradise." She lost everything in this world, yet her heart was full of hope. Look at Jacob alayhi salam. He lost his son Joseph, and went blind from sadness. Yet he said, "I only complain of my sorrow and grief to Allah." He didn't need anyone else. Look at Jonah alayhi salam, in the belly of the whale. He made a mistake, but he did not define himself by that mistake. He repented and called out, "La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin." There is no God but you. Glory be to you. I have been among the wrongdoers. And Allah saved him. The Prophet said, "Whoever says this dua with conviction will also be saved from their hardship." Do you see? The Qur'an is full of stories of resilience. Next comes resilience. You can, inshallah, change your life with small steps. Exercise, change your mindset. Read Qur'an. Learn from the prophets. Surround yourself with a support network. Spend time with people who inspire optimism. All of this helps. Have you ever sat with a friend, shared your worries, and that friend said one sentence that made you think, "I never saw it that way"? Sometimes Allah sends help through people. Dua is essential. Many think dua is just for asking Allah for things. But Allah tells us in the Qur'an, when man faces adversity, He calls upon us night and day. And when we remove the harm, He forgets. Allah is gently saying, "Remember me also in ease." Dua is not only about requests, it is about conversation. You have someone to sit with at night and say, my Lord, my Lord." It changes your brain. Slowly but surely, you begin to repair. This is why Islam came, to tell you there is always a way up. There is always a way forward. Sometimes people fear the future so much they say, "My life is worthless, I should end it." But why? Allah gave you breath, time, youth, strength, blessings. Nothing stays the same forever. Do not isolate yourself. Never isolate yourself. The human being was not built to be alone. We are an ummah. The Prophet said, "The wolf eats the lone sheep." Isolation kills the soul. Yes, sometimes you must distance yourself from toxic people. That's healthy. Islam calls this hajr, separation with wisdom. But do not disconnect from everyone. Find even one person who brings you closer to Allah. Be diligent about what benefits you. People skills, reading, learning, taking action. Seek Allah's support. Don't give up. Don't become paralyzed. If a calamity blocks your plans, never say, "If only I had done such and such." Instead say, "Qadarallahu wa ma sha'a fa'al." Allah has decreed, and He does what He wills. Repeating "if only" opens the door to shaitan, who brings you sadness, misery, failure, self-loathing. My brothers and sisters, remember your value to Allah. Remember the people who love you. It is easy to focus on haters, on those who hurt you. But Allah shows you there are others who love you, who pray for you, who support you. There will always be truth and falsehood, right and wrong, helpers and destroyers. Which side do you choose? Choose recognition of your worth. Choose resilience in the face of hardship. Choose repair through dua, action, and hope. Because this is the way of the prophets. This is the path of believers. This is how you transform pain into strength and grief into growth by Allah's permission.